Full shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, just some social shit for everyone, you know what I'm saying? Like, I made this be myself, so hear me. Woo! I mean, like, we can pull that clown shit away. There's some real shit for you. I'm spazzing right now, so listen, let's go. Yeah. It's in their bones, the thugs in harmony for the love of the money. Then fall victim for the cookie, then turn pussy, it's lonely. You said you hold it down when life get rough, we're here now, so show me. We move them losses to them wins. Heavy pounds, we make it ends meet. Converse with only few who make me feel like I be
10 feet. Hey, big up everybody, man. Big up everybody inside the building. Sorry, I'm laughing. I just saw a comment in the chat. You know, I'm going to put this up there now. Before we even start this stream, good morning to everybody, by the way. There we go. I'm going to leave that one up there for everybody so that there's no confusion. There's no arguments. There's no fights. So that everybody knows the disclaimer is there for you guys. So you can see it there. There is no issues. I made sure I put that in today's stream specifically, man. But big up to everybody inside the building. If you're watching on the replay, please make sure you do smash that like. Smash the dislike button if you think I'm chatting shit, or if you think any of the panelists are talking rubbish. Make sure you do that. In my description, you will find everybody who jumps on today's show's link in there. So ENDZ and Harris, both of ENDZ's channels and his shop as well. So make sure you guys head on over there and click that link. Subscribe if you haven't done so, and make sure you follow Harris on Twitter. ENDZ, we'll start off with you, man. Thank you for joining me this morning, bro. How are you?
Good, man. Good, bro. Good night's sleep. School run done. Gym session done. Drinking a nice cup of tea. About to talk about one of my favorite players. Hey, it's all good, bro. Bless up, man. Guys, remember, man. Like, hey, hit the like button, man. Bro, you know what I realize, yeah? When you go and check the analytics, some of these guys ain't even liking the video and some ain't even subscribing, bro. What? Okay. Can I just ask a question? Guys already just locked in. I'm sure you guys already have subscribed. What stopped you guys from subscribing to channels? I just want to know what your opinion on it, on what stops you. Because I don't know, if I like the content, I just subscribe, bro, so I don't miss it and I turn on the notification bell. But for some reason, man, they were just like, nah, I'll watch it, bro, but I ain't clicking subscribe. It's free.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy, bro. Like, anytime you jump into one of our live streams, guys, at the bare minimum, if you're not even going to subscribe, because maybe you want to watch a bit more of the content, maybe you want to gauge what we're like, at the bare minimum, smash the like or dislike button. At least do that. And like I always say, I don't even mind the dislike button anymore. I'm good with that, actually, because it shows me that at least you've engaged with the content. So I can then see, you know what, I didn't like this video, man, because X, Y, and Z. Let me know, and then I can do better. Or I won't give a shit and I'll continue doing what I'm doing. But at least that way you'll know for the next time whether or not you would like to stay here on GTV. What did you work on in the gym today, by the way?
Back and shoulders, sir. Back and shoulders. That Smith machine was working well. Bench. Did a bit of bench because obviously I want to keep the chest looking good. You know what I mean? Gotta keep the chest, but mostly just the flies and stuff like that, man. Just the machines, really. But yeah, man, it's good, man. Bit of cardio as always, and you know what I mean. Come home, shower, relax. We're ready to talk football, man. You already know.
Nah, I feel you, bro. Harris, my brother, my G. What are you telling me, man? How are you this morning, bro? Savage, I sent you a link, bro. So if you're ready, jump.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm expecting a good stream today. We've got ENDZ. Just as G said, we've got Savage coming on. I've got all my favorite streamers on. So let's enjoy the content today. And let's speak about Mr. Gravenberch.
Big up everybody in the chat. Let me do the housekeeping real quick. Big up Zed Medi. The way I'm hoping and praying, this is the comment I was laughing at. The way I'm hoping and praying, this is not going to be a classical G negative stream. Can we just enjoy being top of the league for a few more hours? Like I said, the disclaimer is there. The disclaimer is there, bro. I hope you're doing well, by the way. I hope you're doing well. Tyler, my brother. Hope you're doing well this morning. Grav is being rated highly this season. I can't remember any slander his way. 100%. I don't think there's been one person who has slandered him. Big up Liverpool Truth Channel. All three of Gravenberch, Maka, and Sabozala have box-to-box roles. This can be backed by their heat maps and clearly is instructions from Slot. Big up Savage in the damn building. So, like I said, I've got the disclaimer there. You can see the title of the video. There's been a lot of praise for Gravenberch. Rightly, wrongly, I don't really care. But there's been a lot of praise regardless. Now, we know, ENDZ said this multiple times on previous streams, so has Savage. In the summer, when we were looking at new midfielders and etc., right? Everybody was looking at all these, Zubamendis, the Edisons, just various different players. There were so many. I can't even go through an entire list, but there were so many players, right? Gravenberch was not one of those players that anybody, the majority looked at and said, that's the midfielder that I think Slot's going to want to play in the midfield. We knew of his skill set, even though whatever, we've seen what he can be able to do. In fact, there was even news, and I said this before, when I think Galatasaray, that's always the team that I remember, but there were other teams as well, I think, who were currently looking at Gravenberch, potentially taking him on loan, just to get him some football, because obviously last didn't really get to play too many games, blah, blah, blah. It is what it is, right? And people were happy. People were really like, yo, you know what? I think Gravenberch isn't really as good as you think he is. There's a reason why Bayern Munich didn't play him. There's a reason why Klopp didn't, want to use him, whatever way you think he should have been used, etc., etc. So we hadn't actually seen him play under Slot at this point. Fast forward now. We're now here 6-7 games into the season. The praise from even the ones who wanted him sold has been crazy levels. ENDZ, I'm going to you first, bro. Chat to me about Gravenberch in a general sense before we even dive into the stats and all of that. Just chat to me, obviously, just your kind of opinion prior to him joining Liverpool, and obviously how you see him now.
Okay, so you remember back, was it I'd say last season we was talking about signing midfielders. And I was like, we need someone with a bit of presence in there. My first thought was Thuram available, go and get him, because I feel like he could offer what you're seeing Gravenberch do now in terms of what the skill sets I'm looking at the player. Gravenberch has always been one of my favorite players, but because he was at Bayern, I'm like, there's no way they're going to sell him to us. You know what I mean? Never even crossed my mind that was even a possibility. But because of obviously the news of Thuram, I'm like, yeah, get Thuram and get into it. But then once the Gravenberch one, I'm like, yo, that's a good deal, get him in. He can offer us what, in my mind, that presence in the midfield, because I've seen how he played, innit? How well he is on the ball. He can be aggressive, the running power of him, the change of direction, and he can read the game. But coming into Liverpool, all of the things that I thought and saw that he was good at, he wasn't displaying, bro. So it was just like, I saw it in glimpses, like in certain games, the Everton game, not the one where we lost, but the first one near the start of the season. I'm like, the way he demanded the ball dropping shoulder, and he bossed the whole midfield, spraying passes. I'm like, that's the Gravenberch, bro. That's the guy that I want to see. But he never displayed that on a consistent basis. So even though in my mind, I'm like, nah, this is a cold player, I could see when people were getting onto him. I'm like, some of it is a bit over the top. Some of it is deserved. But I was always like, nah, man. I feel like he can, you know what I mean? I've always felt like he can show what he's going to show now. Did I know he could do this? Did I want him to play in this position? No. I wanted him to kind of play a bit further forward. But I knew he could play in this one. So when we were like, nah, he couldn't play in there, I'm like, yeah, you just don't know the profile of the type of player. And I get it because of the way he displayed his ability in last season. You're like, I'm not going to leave him in the 6 because he doesn't want to tackle. He looks slight. He looks disinterested at times. And that's where the quote-unquote lazy comments come in. And I'm like, yo, he's not lazy. The man is new, hasn't played any real football for Bayern. Sav did a great job and worked it out and showed everyone when we did the stream and said, bro, I can't remember the exact number, Sav, correct me if I'm wrong. It equated to like maybe like 10 games. Or it might even been slightly more. In terms of the minutes broke down across the season for Bayern, he didn't play, bro. He didn't play any games really, bro. And then he had a pre-season with them. He played against us in the pre-season. Nearly scored. Alisson made a good save at his near post. And I'm like, okay. But even then, I still didn't think this type of player Liverpool would go in for. Because Klopp's been here for long enough. I was just so used to certain types of midfielders he would go for. But yeah, he's now, bringing it forward. He's now displaying what I expected him to do. And I know we're meant to keep level-headed. And the thing is, I saw Virgil's comments about, make sure you keep level-headed, keep going, don't get injured. All of these things, accept the praise, but don't go overboard with the praises. Just move. He's never been that type of player anyway to get that arrogance in him. I'm not saying you can't then, develop that over time, because maybe, you get big-headed after a while, but he's always been like a kid that you've always seen that he's just level-headed and just wants to play football and put a smile on his face for a while doing what he does. But yeah, man, it's so good to see what he can do, and that presence I was talking about, when the reason why I wanted the Thuram in there, he's now offering that. And I know it might not be for some people's liking. There's probably still things that he has to work on, and every player is never going to be perfect. There's some things I want him to do a bit better, but I'm now asking for perfection, and I know that's not possible in terms of football. You're going to have off days. You're going to have days where things are not going to go your way. Tackles ain't going to go your way. Maybe a one tackle and you get yourself sent off. But I think his level of consistency, as long as he can stay, with a 7 each game, and a 7 doesn't mean you need to score or assist. A 7 means just win your duels. Even the last game when people are like, nah, he weren't that good. If you look at, across the board, bro, he won all of his duels, bro. And that's
apparently he was the first defender, first midfielder since Sandro for Spurs to compete and win 5+ duels. All of them. He won every single duel. I think it was 7 out of 7, I want to say.
8 out of 8 it was.
Or 8 out of 8.
8 out of 8 it was. But yeah, just continue to do what he's doing, man. I'm so happy, bro. It's like a proud dad moment, because you know how good a player is, bro. And you're just like, he's not showing it, man, but show it. Get that confidence, man, because I've seen when you're confident, even the best of the best don't match up to you. And it's not to say they're not better than him on an overall scale, but when he's at his best and he has the confidence, because of his skill sets, some midfielders will struggle to play against him. And it's not that they're not better than him. It's just on the day, a confidence Gravenberch, man. You're talking about one of the most powerful runners out there. Carries the ball well. He can take the ball in one touch and beat 2 or 3 players and break through midfield and break lines. And then, as we saw against the Man United game, how he can make those key killer type passes in there. But man, it's good, man.
No, I hear it. Savage said it was 6 games actually. Where you're talking about how many games in minutes. It was only 6
I couldn't remember the exact number, but bro, the minutes. Sav broke it down. He went through all the games, broke it down, and showed people. And that's where I was like, yeah, but the name is there, and he was a generational talent beforehand, right? But when you calculate, and Savage did it, that he didn't play hardly for Bayern, bro. Whether that's the manager, whether that's him, whether that's whatever, and I'm never going to just say it's a team and it's never his fault. Clearly, it was a part of him as well. Maybe not giving enough because you've moved to this level and you've decided like, oh, nah, they bought me. So, no, you still have to work. You still have to show them why you're good. But he broke it down to 6 games, bro, in minutes. That's bro. That's crazy, bro. So when he came to us, not really on knowing where he's going to be in terms of does the team want him, does he not? I think it was Tuchel that, that was the manager then. And not knowing where you lie with him, then coming into a team, and then, you have to learn the Premier League. You're not saying you have to learn the language, because obviously he speaks English and whatever. Understand his teammates, what the requirements is, realizing the Premier League, you don't have time on the ball. These men are going to be running through you if you try and take a touch too late, too slow. You're doing a lethargic thing, whatever it may be. Then you have to fix up, bro. And now we're seeing, the best version of Gravenberch, bro. And what I love about it, and I hope he stays the same, he's level-headed, bro. What I mean? He's so level-headed, chill you, from what I've seen. And that's always a point. And I know some people are like, maybe he's going to fall off and blah, blah, blah. I feel like this is going to be his standards, bro. I feel like even if the only way I can see him having a bad game, maybe if he gets like a yellow card and then he has to halt what he does. Maybe like if he gets one early, maybe it stunts his performance within the game. But I can't see him not doing what he's doing. Unless you come up, obviously we got big boy tests coming up. You got Man City, they got cold midfielders. Real Madrid, cold midfielders. I wouldn't say Chelsea as much. I wouldn't say Arsenal either. Unless Martin Odegaard is playing. I don't rate Declan Rice like that. I made that clear.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah, I
He's
don't
made it
rate
very
him like
clear
that.
on previous streams.
You know what I mean? I've made it clear, and I'll stay with what I say. I just think he's a needy, normal midfielder. There's nothing he does where I'm like, oh my days, that's like there's nothing he does stand out where I'm like, there's no one like you. Nah, there's plenty of guys. Like, you can find guys like him in the championship, but that's not even a thing. But their midfield is good as a unit. Don't get me
As a
wrong.
unit, yeah.
But I feel like he'll do well against them anyway. But the Man City one with those technical dribblers where they're going to move the ball around really quickly and you have to be switched on all the time. That's where I think, and like the Real Madrid one, because you've got bare ballers in their midfield as well. So he's going to have to stay switched on. The Arsenal one, it's more in transition. You know, is his job is going to be stopping Odegaard if he's the one playing? Can he run past them midfielders? We saw what Ouattara did to Arsenal's midfield, bro. On his ones, Man City midfield. You tell me Gravenberch can't, you know what I mean?
Yeah, fair enough. True that.
No, man. I hear it. Guys, if you're liking the stream, man, you're disliking the stream, please make sure you smash any one of those buttons, whether it's a like or a dislike for the panelist on the show. Harris, man, we'll go over to you. Kind of the same question, really, in terms of your opinion on Gravenberch, prior to obviously coming to Liverpool, so Ajax, Bayern Munich, and then, his time at Liverpool and what your kind of opinion is now.
So when he came, actually the links, I remember I was getting my hair done and it was nighttime and I was seeing the links and I was getting excited because I knew what kind of player he was and I knew what he could offer to Liverpool. It's just whether Jurgen Klopp could use that, because we know what he's like when it comes to players. Like he will try and mold players. I didn't want him to do that with Gravenberch, and I feel like he tried to do that. I don't think he looked at him and said, yeah, this guy is so good that we may need to tweak a few things in the system for him. And we saw it, basically. He started off well in the Europa League games. He played very well against Everton. I remember doing a preview for that game, and I said I would have started him in the 6 because he's coming up against what's his name, Doucouré, and I said I don't want McAllister there because it might be a long day for him. And I said I would have started Gravenberch because he can retain the ball. If Doucouré is going to press, I'd rather him press what's his name, Gravenberch, because I know he can get out of that situation. But he didn't start in the 6 that game. He started as an 8, and he played very well that game, as ENDZ did say. But as a player, I think he's very good to watch. And also what ENDZ said with that whole arrogance thing, he doesn't seem he has it. He just seems like a very cool, chill guy, which I think is very good, because you don't want some players where they get carried away, and then they're out here stinking up the gaff. And then, like, let's see if that was to happen with Gravenberch. I know, but towards the end of the season, people say, we're missing that. It's quite similar to what happened with Szoboszlai. Those first 8 games of the season. I wish I had that player back. I don't think we're going to see that. Like ENDZ said again, we'll probably see this Gravenberch for majority of the season, because he has a role that is assigned to him, which is to keep it simple, progress the ball up the pitch at times, keep it simple, keep it tidy. Yes, you do have to do your defensive roles. That just seems not too much to ask of a player like Gravenberch, because he can do that. If you're asking like an Endo to do that, it might be a bit spooky. Because I don't think Endo can do that to a consistent level. But for his technical excellence, his God-gifted ability, we may just see a 7 out of 10 of Gravenberch towards the end of the season, and 9 for like if he's bossing a game like at the at his absolute best. So I am looking forward to seeing him throughout the season, kind of against the bigger opposition, such as your Real Madrids, your Cities. I think those 2 I'm looking at, and I'm thinking I want to see Gravenberch against those 2 teams, just to see where his level is, because I'm seeing best midfielder in the world shouts, best midfielder in the league shouts. let's just see him against those better opposition. Then I will have my say on where I see him. But he definitely is one of, I wouldn't say the best, but I'll say he is on form. Currently, he is one of the best in the world performing because he's keeping his level, he's keeping his consistency. So yeah, let's just see.
Fairs. So no one cares about this guy now. No one wants to. No one cares like about Zubimendi in that. You know what I'm saying? Apparently, this was the midfielder that was going to take Liverpool to the next stage, to the next level, which would then allow for us to, challenge, compete, for the Premier League title. This open floor, so obviously anyone can kind of jump in. But do you guys think, with the fact that obviously Zubimendi, in terms of his team, I wouldn't even say him so much, more the team itself. Do you think that like the team not doing so well, and coincidentally Liverpool doing so well, sitting top of the Premier League at the moment, with Gravenberch obviously being the best player for Liverpool this season, do we then look at it, big up Zed Bendy, do we then look at it and think we don't need a Zubimendi anymore? Or is it a case of having a Zubimendi might actually help to supplement someone like a Gravenberch? Like, because people have spoken, just before you answer, people have spoken. I've seen quite a lot now. It seems everything seems to always change ends. You already know this already with people's views and opinions, right? From what I've seen, people are now saying, no, keep Gravenberch in the midfield, but we need a controller next to him now. Instead, so take out Zabozalai or McAllister, but we need a controller. All of a sudden, we've gone from we need a defensive mid like a Makalele type of player, Kante levels. Then we've moved on to we need a ball-playing defensive midfielder, i.e. Gravenberch, Zubimendi type. Now we've moved on to we need a controller. Chat to me, man. What's even going on in everyone's mind, or what do you think is going on?
I'll stick into what I said earlier, man. I didn't. When everyone said they wanted a 6, in my mind, like what type of 6 was you looking for? Trying to look at what Arne Slot was doing in pre-season in terms of what he required from his 6. Being able to, receive the ball in the back foot, turning into those spaces, driving into, an open pitch and just releasing it, keeping it tidy, as what Harris was saying, just keeping it tidy, neat, and playing it. I'm not saying he can't do it, but I didn't understand the way that people made it out to be when they were talking about the 6 that we want was more of a destroyer type. He's sitting in there breaking up play. And I'm looking at that. That's not his type of profile. I'm not saying he can't do that, but I never look at him as that type. He's more of a controller, conductor, deep line playmaker that can do a jack of all trades kind of thing. So he didn't marry up to what they wanted in terms of what they required from the 6. So obviously Gravenberch is kind of doing all of it, which is cold and great, and I love it. But I would still go and get another midfielder that can do the exact same thing as well. And obviously I didn't want him. I didn't care about him like that, innit? The man turned us down. So I'm not really fussed if he wants to. If the club still wants him, I can't do nothing about it. Support him if he puts the red shirt on. But yeah, listen, we still need someone. And Wataru in that game where he came in, it was absolutely cold, bro. And I can't believe that people are taking deep breaths when they're trying to give him ratings and stuff like that, which is crazy, bro. Like that, what triggered me. See, when I've seen players play well, I'll tell you the things that trigger me. When players play well, I know they played well, but you still keep the agenda when they don't. When they do. That's what triggered me. And that's when I go full defense mode and I'll just argue the case for the player. Wataru was outstanding in the game he played for us. He is not Gravenberch. He's not going to do things like what Gravenberch does. He's going to look different when he's on the ball, but he still offers us something. We won the game and absolutely blitzed man in the midfield and whatever. And man, them still said, no, I saw this man everywhere. People said he wasn't good enough. But can Zubimendi come in and take over from a Wataru? Yeah, 100%. He is an upgrade. And if we want to challenge and win the big trophies, the Premier Leagues and the Champions Leagues, yeah, we're going to need players like him in it. Someone that's going to elevate and push other midfielders, to do better and want to do better. I.e., you got the competition over on the left-hand side. Diaz and Gakpo, bro. Because Diaz is on form, Gakpo has no other choice but to, push as well. That in turn pushes, Diaz. So getting, Zubimendi in, whoever it may be, but obviously Zubimendi is the one on topic. It's going to push a McAllister, push a Sobol, push a Gravenberch. He's going to push all these guys to do better because the manager is going to be like, nah, I need to get, if he's playing well, you have to play. That means someone can't play. And that might, improve the players that we the Sobos. He needs to definitely, buck his ideas up a bit and try and make sure he keeps a spot. But January is only around the corner. It's 3 months out. So, and we're already in October now as well. So he needs to make sure he's fixed up because if he's still on the radar and if it's still a player we want to go and get, apart from Gravenberch, and it's not a knock on McAllister and it's not a knock on Sobol, but I don't think none of them two has really nailed down that position in midfield. Like, you're cool to play there. We know Gravenberch is playing, and we've seen Gravenberch play even when they're not playing well in midfield. He's playing well. And it's not that I don't think they haven't played well, but for the standards you set for them and the standards I know they can reach, they haven't really. Maybe in 1 or 2 games, but from a consistent basis, Sobol McAllister hasn't really hit the levels that I've set for them in terms of what they should be doing. But they've had good games. They've had really But Gravenberch has just been standards and he's kept it even when they're playing rubbish. Even when the midfield ain't about, he's still doing what he's doing. The Wolves one, you'd say most of the midfield was kind of open-ish based on them, counter-attacking, whatever. But looking at Gravenberch's numbers and how he played, bro, it doesn't matter how well we're playing, he's going to play well. But getting in someone like him will push the other guys. Every one of them midfielders have to butt their ideas up. I've not paid attention to how he's doing this season, so maybe you'd have to fill me in terms of unless these are his stats currently for this season. But
yeah, these are the stats for obviously for this season. Like I said, I've only watched highlights, so I'm not even going to sit here and say I've sat down and watched a Real Sociedad game. Highlights, he still looks calm. He just looks exactly what you think he was going to be. That's exactly how he plays. At Real Sociedad have just been kind of poor, especially in transition at times this season. From the goals I've seen them concede anyway. Again, how they play overall, maybe I'm just not seeing it, in totality. He just looks calm, but obviously if your team's losing, games are not winning, you can only look calm to a certain point. Do you know what I mean? Like there's only going to be so much that people are going to be like, yeah, he still looks good and blah, blah, blah. As Savage is saying here, Real Sociedad are in the mud. You know what I mean? This season.
Can I just add something quickly before?
Of course, yeah.
The problem is now, if he is someone that we want to get, right? And Savage made this point a couple of weeks or a week back, maybe, or 2 weeks back, about when did Roger get injured? He said, wouldn't be surprised if they go and get him. Maybe a week ago he got injured, right?
Yeah.
So he was like, maybe they'll go and get him. So the problem is now with him is he chose not to come to us. Yeah, that's fine. You can choose whatever you want to do. But I'm like, that kind of, I'm like, bro, come on, it's Liverpool. And I get it. You want to stay at your old club. But I didn't see, why didn't you want to progress, bro? Like, you're coming to a new environment to a big team, to a team that are looking to get back to where we was in terms of competing for the Premier League and winning Champions League. So there's kind of a new thing going on, and you chose to stay, which is, I don't know how they convinced you to stay. Maybe we didn't do the good enough job in terms of convincing him. But the problem is now there's going to be other teams that's going to want to go for him within that January.
Yeah. Is
he going to want to come to us now in terms of, like, even if we go back in for him? I don't know. Man City's there. They're going to need someone. So he might look at that one. The teams that he turned down in the past might go, maybe this is the moment to try and convince him. The Arsenals, the Barcelonas, even though they ain't got money like that. And I'm sure there was one other team that tried to get him as well.
Bayern Munich.
Yeah, so do they kind of go back into him now? His team ain't, doing well, but he's still kind of performing. So now we're going to have to fight off everyone else if he's still the guy that we want. And clearly he is, because Arne Slot obviously wanted him and he chose to stay. But I don't know, bro. I don't know.
It's actually mad. We got everyone, by the way, in the chat. What happened to looking at players like him?
That's the guy.
I know, and this is obviously a player that you like.
But Harris, convinced me about him still. Wasn't convinced. Yeah, man.
What? So, Harris, I'll ask you this, right? And it's kind of again kind of the same thing. Why is it you think we've gone from maybe it's because of we've now seen Arne Slot, his football, his style, and etc. Why do you think we've gone from saying we wanted the Ugarte type of midfielder? I'll just use it a midfielder from today. That type of ball winning midfielder, Palinia type of individual who can just do that, and they do that very very well, but they can't really do other phases of the game, not so well. To then saying we wanted a Zubimendi type kind of player. Ederson, so to speak, I feel like he fits into the mold of in between the both of them in terms of can do the ball winning, can play a bit of football as well, kind of thing. Now everyone's saying we need a controller. I don't know of any controllers out there. Too tough, if I'm being honest. Maybe you guys can let me know. But why isn't it we're now not looking at this kind of player here? Someone like an Ederson now, or why people think we don't need necessarily an Ederson, so to speak.
Because I think they're looking at how slim our squad is in terms of midfielders. So we've got Gravenberch, right? Can you name me any other midfielder? I'm not going to count McAllister because he plays next to him. Can you name me any other midfielder in our squad that can do his role to a 7 out of 10 consistently?
Who's role? Sorry.
Gravenberch's.
Oh, no one.
Exactly. So I think
Endo.
No. If you're saying he's saying, can you do the Gravenberch role?
Oh, okay.
Plug and play. So if I take him out, he just comes in. Then no one. I don't. If you get Endo in, he's gonna do a different job to what.
I'm not arguing. I accept. Yeah, I didn't hear the question properly at the statement. Sorry.
See, this is what happens when you don't listen, then. But sorry, Harris, you continue.
I think So I think our fans are looking at how slim our squad is in that position, and think maybe we could just deal with an extra player who plays the same way as Gravenberch or can do a similar role to him. I don't think we need like an Ederson type. I think he's good, but he doesn't move me to the point where I think he can come in and do any. He might do a bit better, but it's not to a level where we're going up a level.
Okay, fair.
I think he's a decent player, but I don't think he can push us to that next level. I think if we get another player that can do the Gravenberch role, like let's say if he gets injured, and then we just got we're going to put like a Zubimendi in. I think that could take us to another level. So looking at players like those ball winners, like the Ugartes, it's funny because some of our fans wanted him, and 2 seasons ago when we had Klopp who was playing that single pivot, I wanted him because I knew he was just a ball winner, and I think he would have helped with the counter attacks. I was watching the Portuguese league, and I know it's a lot slower to the Premier League, and I've seen him now at Man United, and when it comes to counter attacks, he's not looking great so far. But I think us fans, we've moved on from that number 6 in terms of being a destroyer. I think majority of us want a controller, and not necessarily to come in and start, just to come in and be a rotation player. If an important player gets injured, they can just come into that role and just do a job. For example, someone like, I speak about him a lot, Jody Shelton, who I rate highly. Yeah, he can do. I think he's practically very similar to Gravenberch, probably a bit more. I think he's more safe than Gravenberch in terms of like going forward. Like throughout the Euros, he was playing in the pivot with Reinders, and I think him as a midfielder, I think he's really good. Like under pressure, you're not going to get the ball off of him. I think the only difference between them two is that I don't think Shelton, because he plays for PSV, his PR is not as great as a Gravenberch's, because when you play for Liverpool and you're starting to perform, your PR is going to go through the roof. Yeah. And like I said, Shelton plays for PSV, and his PR has gone up a little bit throughout the Euros because he was doing a very tidy job in the middle. and I think he's a quality player, very underrated. And like the likes of Barcelona, they were looking at him. They put in a 35 million bid, but it was rejected because it was late in the window. So it's good to see top teams starting to recognize this guy's talent, because I think he's quality. So those are the kind of midfielders that we should be looking at, I think, in my opinion. And I hope we are, because if we want to win the league, such as people are enjoying this top spot for now, if we want to enjoy it more, let's start looking into these midfielders, just to maintain that consistency and that level.
No, man, I hear it, man. I hear it. Like, I mean, look, you seem what's kind of happened. This is, now I know these are Sofa Score / I think so. I got Sofa Score and FOTMob. Take from that whatever you want to take from that. If you agree with them, don't agree. I don't agree with ratings. I just more look at the stats, because I just need to get the stats from the games. That's something I'll take. But you can see here this season, in terms of the numbers that he's been getting for every single game. I mean, he's been good. Do you know what I mean? Ryan Gravenberch really has been good, and it is quite interesting that you both speak about, maybe the potential type of player, that Liverpool may want to get, in the future. Whether that's to play alongside him, whether that's to play in place of Gravenberch, I guess it will depend on, form of other players, whether he feels, moving. I know everyone talks about moving McAllister further forward and then, putting someone else right next to him. I guess all of these things will kind of work itself out. Like, if we remember Gravenberch, like Savage, you've mentioned this before, right? Like, this was Gravenberch. This is the levels that he was on. This is the Golden Boy award. This is a couple seasons back. I mean, you got quite a lot of good players in. I mean, even Fabio Carvalho is on the list. Ansu Fati, Gavi, Nonto, Vardio, Adeyemi, Antonio Silva. This is just the top 10, by the way. I couldn't be bothered to get the rest. We had Scalvini on there. They had so many really good players, but this was the kind of level that Gravenberch was on. Obviously, yes, his time at Bayern Munich, we know what that was about. It is what it is. Obviously, it's happened. Do you get what I'm trying to say? It's poor from both sides of things. Clearly, he probably hasn't done enough to get into the squad, but also the manager's not trusting him. That's how I've looked at the situation there. Is that, as N said, it can't.
Yeah, his father said something like Tuchel wasn't loving. Sorry to interrupt, but
no.
His, like, the father was saying that Tuchel wasn't as loving as Klopp, and that's why Liverpool was a key factor. But sorry, carry on. No.
But this is what I'm saying. Is like, sometimes, because really we saw it on the Klopp, if I'm being honest with you, is that, and like I guess we will have to just admit it. There's going to be managers in the way that they play that you're just not a fit for that. Like, you unfortunately, like, you've got ability, you've got a skill set. He's going to obviously try and use that skill set in some way, but it's more, remember, it's going to be towards his tactic, his style of play, whatever that is. So whether that's the gegenpress, whatever you want to call it, whether that's possession-based football, whether that's a mix of the two, you need to, with some managers, you need to fit into that. Because you're not building the team around a Gravenberch, for example, you kind of need to fit into that. And I think that's kind of what we saw really in the last 2 seasons, is that with Tuchel, again, like I said, the outside stuff is the outside stuff. I don't know too much about that. But the way I just looked at it was, you don't really fit what he wants his midfielders to do. But at the same time, he's also not giving you a chance that much to even try and, fit into, like, man's coming off the bench. Bro, he was getting Fabio Carvalho minutes. I see man come off the bench in one game for like 2 minutes. Like, I'm sure added time was getting put up on the board, and I see Gravenberch come on, and I was like, right, these are the minutes that Gravenberch
is mad, because people would equate that to a game minute, because they won't look at the minute. Yeah. And that's why it was so good when Savage broke it down, because it would show that he played like 30 games, and you're like, nah, bro, if you equate the minutes, bro, there's 6 games, bro. That's true. That's so true. Mad. Like, no, but he played this amount of games, he should have scored. No, bro, look at his minutes.
It's actually mad. Well, a question from Tyler here, he's just asking, do you guys think Zubimendi would be an upgrade on Gravenberch?
Yes.
Okay, I'm surprised by that answer, I can't lie.
From seeing his defensive, from seeing Gravenberch's defensive duties he's done well. I don't think, like, Zubimendi's doing as well defensively. In possession, he might be better. Like, we're talking about Spain midfielder. He may be better, yeah.
It might
But
even
just
unlock
for
a
that,
bit more Gravenberch as well to give him a bit more freedom if they did
yeah.
decide to play both of them.
That's a
But to
good
be
shout.
fair,
So
I don't even want Gravenberch to be further forward. I've always looked at him and said I would like you to be my first faith midfielder. Like if I'm a centre back, I'm looking at Gravenberch and I'm calm because I know he can keep, that he can keep the ball. If I have a 6 in front of me, like an ender, and we're playing possession ball, I'm sorry, but my heart is gonna be beating. Yeah, because
it's a bit deep.
from playing that position, I'm always looking at my 6 and I'm thinking, do I trust you to keep the ball, and do I trust you not to leave gaps? Because when you don't have a 6 that is disciplined and they're exposing you, it's a long day. Yeah, so I'm looking at like a Gravenberch and I'm thinking, yeah, cool. Give him the ball. He can do what he wants. He's going to find a way to break the press. But if I'm looking at it like an ender and I'm thinking, yeah, I might need to miss you still. Like I might need to look for someone else to pass to. Yeah, maybe
But
just bounce it back to me and not try and go on the half turn or anything.
do you okay? So we're gonna run with that, right? Yeah, because I do agree with actually some parts that you're saying, but I think it goes back to what I said about the role of the two players would be different. So obviously this is all Ajax stuff, right? And I had to get this because I said I wanted people to see that he's not necessarily doing anything different to what he used to do anyway. It's just in the last 2 seasons, that's not what he was being asked to actually do. So obviously this is obviously his time at Ajax, obviously where made his debut, all that kind of good stuff, man, coming through the academy, etc., right? He is a first phase midfielder from what I can gather. And again, guys, please tell me if I'm wrong, but that's how I see him. He's first phase midfielder, i.e., as Harris said, he gets the ball. I want you prefer him to get the ball first, play from there kind of thing, right? And you don't really want Endo. I agree with you there, 100%. Gravenberch, in my opinion, from what I've seen now, and he's proved me wrong, he's probably the best midfielder we have in the team to do that because he just seems to be able to. It's like a what's the
discipline.
word?
He has the discipline. He knows when to release, when to carry. He knows when.
I wouldn't even say. I wouldn't even say discipline. That's not. He's like a space invader. Like he just seems to understand. Like this is the space that I need. This is the here real talk, Tyler. This is the space that is here. That is I can blatantly create, and he's got the skill set. But I can't sit there and say I don't think McAllister doesn't have the skill set to do that. So maybe actually maybe discipline might be the right word. I don't know. I'm trying to find the word for it, but he just seems to be able to eat up space. Like he'll get the ball here, and all of a sudden, this brother will move to the fucking attacking midfield in like next to no time, and you cannot get the ball off of him. Look, picking up the ball again in that triangle, with Klaas and Taylor there in front of him, in that triangle, in that pivot position, almost acting as a third centre back. You can see he's doing that almost now, picking up the ball again alongside Virgil, alongside Kanate at times, but he's keeping the ball, moving. And I think maybe it was just Arne Slot, Dutch manager, understands a bit more about certain Dutch players in terms of what can make them tick. But as soon as he came in, I'm seeing him do this. And I'm like, so if my man could do this on the jump, why weren't you guys getting him to do this, from the beginning? Like, why did you have to try and, I get it, Klopp wants he needs the midfield work. Like, he needs the intensity level to be at 1,000,000%. I get that. And that's fine. But, bro, we're now seeing him now. And, there's no way that this guy's gone from someone that we were like, I don't even know. Maybe he's a bench player. Remember the beginning of the season, beginning of preseason, and you might remember when we're doing the shows and talking about certain things and the preseason was going on. Remember, Gravenberch hadn't come to the team yet because he was still away on with Netherlands International. So the midfield, from what I can remember, it was Curtis Jones, like people in people's heads, Curtis Jones, Szoboszlai, McAllister. I'm sure
Elliot
majority of people.
Well.
Elliot
was in the conversation.
No, he was in the conversation after we had seen him in preseason. I'm talking before we'd even kicked off any games. Yeah. Before we'd kicked off any games, it was those three because that was the three that we had obviously seen. And then Elliot then became, hey, we need to start playing Elliot in this role instead. Exactly. No one mentioned. I can promise you again, outside of the minority, I never heard one person mention Gravenberch. Like not even in the slightest. Like he was the bench player. He was the and we didn't even know where to put him. We were like, maybe in the 8. Like no one said 6. I know for a fact no one said 6.
No one was on board with 6 last season at all. I remember watching. I remember watching like Kopish at times, and then they didn't want Gravenberch anywhere near the 6. And then I've always thought, surely he can do a job there. Like, he'll keep it tidy, because in my eyes, like a 6, what I like from a 6 is being able to keep the ball. I've looked at all of our midfielders and I've said Gravenberch is the one that can keep the ball the best. Because Szoboszlai, let's not even talk about Szoboszlai when it comes to keeping the ball. McAllister, I feel like he can get carried away sometimes. He may do a little bit too much. Curtis Jones, you know my thoughts on Curtis Jones when it comes to keeping the ball. He can keep the ball, but it's just that discipline when to release it. That can get carried away as well. He can take that touch a bit, a little bit too much at times. And then Endo, let's not even speak about him. Yeah, Gravenberch is the one that can keep the ball the best, and I've always looked at him and said he can do a job in a pivot, potentially even as a single 6, depending on the system. Like, if, for example, if Gravenberch was to sign for Man City, if he was at Man City, he would do a tremendous job in the role that Pep would want. Like whether that's in a pivot with Kovacic, I think those two would complement each other. And even Rodri as well. I know he's out injured, but if Man City got a hold of Gravenberch and it was just a pivot of them two, I think that would be a very nice pivot to watch.
I think on what you just said there, just before you go in, I'm just thinking about it now. The reason why I said about being annoyed that the managers never played in a way that obviously could facilitate is because in the systems that these managers like Tuchel and Klopp, but let's just use Klopp, I don't really care about Tuchel. In the system that Klopp used, I can understand why Gravenberch doesn't do well, because he's not, like, the game isn't played through the middle like how it is now, in terms of we don't try to, we're very narrow now. We try to, pop the ball around in the middle to create that space out wide for the likes of Diaz to go 1v1, for the likes of Salah to obviously do whatever he does on the, on that other side. I was about to say something, but I don't want to get into it. Like we seem to play quite a lot, through the thirds, right? We didn't do that under Klopp. So where I disagree with you is that he can't play 6 for Liverpool under Klopp, because the reality is he's just going to keep getting bypassed. And where you're continuously getting bypassed,
he can't.
Where you're getting bypassed, and remember, you can tell. Like, let's not be like, let's be honest. We can see the way that Klopp kind of played, and I don't want to keep going back to it, but the way that he was playing was more of a counter-attack-esque type of football, where Liverpool are at their best when the opposition has the ball. Whereas now, bro, we want the ball. He talked, like Slot even said, he wants the ball. Like he understands, bro. If we have the majority of possession, then we can do more with the ball. We've just got to learn to do, certain things. So if Gravenberch is in this system, he can dictate more, i.e., do the stuff that he's doing now. Picking up the ball. And listen, man, he's doing good at it. Like, I'm not gonna, like I said, the disclaimer's there, guys. I'm not saying he's been bad. I don't want people to think that I think he's been bad. I think he's been good this season. It's just more about, I guess this is more for the clowns, really, and this is more for the flip-floppers, in terms of how they're kind of viewing him, because I'm seeing stuff like Baby Pogba. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing Mini Yaya. Did you get? I'm trying to say, I'm seeing this. Like, what are we doing here? Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like,
that's the PR. That's the PR that's being generated. Because if he continues this,
the other day when I said that about the PR machine for Gravenberch is brazy, and I actually rate it, because I can't remember the last time really, even Szoboszlai. I don't even think it was even as big as Szoboszlai's was last season. Like, I feel like this is going beyond that, bro.
I slightly disagree in terms of the PR. I think the PR side of it is more from the internet, so like Twitter.
Even Jamie Carragher and them lot are talking about it, like on Sky Sports.
Yeah, but I feel like the club ain't doing that, bro. I don't see it from the club standpoint. I don't see it from the other players, listening to the captain saying, just keep grounded, keep doing what you're doing, accept some praise, but move forward from it. That's what I want to hear. And that's the type of thing. That's the PR we're getting. It's not PR like he's in every advert, Sky Sports doing something and they're like matching Gravenberch up against everyone else. like what they normally would do. I'll switch it slightly. See, like the PR that Bellingham's got. And I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it because he has played well. Champions League winner, La Liga winner. But even before that, the PR was really high. I don't see the same with Gravenberch. I feel like it's subsections or some sections of our fan base is doing the comparisons and pushing certain things. But I don't feel like that's, it's not the same from the club standpoint or a lot of the major media outlets. They're not like, oh, Gravenberch has been the best and then comparing him to all of these guys. I don't see that train running a lot. It's more, he's just doing his work silently. He's just literally just with, playing and winning his duels and keeping it simple and, dropping shoulders. And the reason why I think it stayed that way is because he's not scoring or assisting. I feel like because he's just doing the job where it's just like, oh yeah, other midfielders are kind of winning their draws and, keeping it simple and got a good
So you think if he started bagging goals,
if he starts scoring and assisting, that's when it will go past social media then. It will literally just now be the big companies will take over and go and start doing the comparisons and pretend the fan base hadn't been doing this already. But I because I'm not on the internet like that in terms of like scrolling, I didn't even realize, man. I've seen like obviously big up to Honesty. He's got that picture, the right card. But I've seen that. I'm like, yo, who created that, bro? Who's trying to, you know what I mean? And I've seen like some YouTubers like they do the half and half face with some players and they could. But I haven't clicked on the video to watch it to see their reasons on why he's him. I just want him to just be him, bro. And having a captain like Virgil telling him like, yo, keep your feet on the ground, bro. No one cares, blood. The man them trolling him, he's in the change room like, oh yeah, man, I want another man in the match. Robbo's like, get over it, bro. Like, no one cares in it kind of thing. I think that the leadership group we have is going to keep him grounded. And that's why you see his games. That you've thrown up all of his games. He's got above and a 7 and above. And that stems from a player. Like, you could have done that after game week 2, game week 3. Like, oh my days, I'm the guy. Winning, man of the match in our Champions League game against AC Milan. Oh, I'm that guy. No, they've said like, yo, listen, that's all well and good, cool. And then the little back and forth with him and Ibu, he'd be like, nah, bro, I've been better than you. I don't know how they've given you that. But it's those kind of things. The leadership group will keep this guy grounded, bro. And I like it that way. Some part of me want him to score goals and also get an assist. But I know once he starts doing that, like consistently, look how much a PR train just went off with Ibu now, just because he scored in the Premier League and scored in the Champions League. Now they're trying to compare him and say, oh, Ibu, this season he's won the most aerial duels and blah. I'm like, you man weren't doing that last season when he was doing that. But because
he's
now
doing the same thing,
he's scoring, they're now trying to like compare him now to other man. If Ibu goes and scores again in the Champions League game against Bologna, just pay attention to what will happen next, bro. You're gonna now see, oh my days, Ibu and I watched the I don't know if you guys saw the Liverpool done. After the game they always analyze the players. Yeah. On LFC TV, and obviously Neil Miller normally does it with someone I can't remember.
Oh yeah.
Don't forgive me. And they were comparing Virgil, and I'm like, it's so mad here because I watched the way Virgil was playing in the game and how many headers and how calm he was in certain times. But like people just speak like he weren't even involved in the game, like he wasn't even there until you get your highlight and you see, oh shit, bro, there was 2 really good headers where he cleared for us and a couple of tackles and shielded man out. But when I watch other people do the rating, they're like, oh, but he did make a mistake. And I'm like, what mistake, bro? And then they were like, oh, yeah, it's a chance when they had it. I'm like, that's not a mistake. That's not a mistake, bro. The mistake was my boy Ibu decided to, I don't know what he was doing. He fell asleep for a second, bro. We conceded a goal. But other than that, man, game's been flawless. And that's because Virgil's always been that guy that just stays level-headed. And if he can do that with like Gravenberch and speak to him and make sure he doesn't get overexcited, bro. Just keep doing what you're doing, man. We're good, man. Honestly, we're good. And he's going to continue to do this all season, bro. As long as there's no injuries, and as what I said, as long as he doesn't pick up like a silly yellow card early in the game, I think that sometimes can affect your game going forward because now any little tackle, that yellow you'd have picked up later on, where a man drives the ball away. You could have just grabbed him quickly and, I'll take that because it's late in the game. I'm not allowing you to run past. But now we can't even do that. Can't clip the ankle. And you know when you're on a yellow card, man, them start doing that madness. They start running across you because
Yeah, all the time. Yeah, because they
and
know.
I'm like,
Yeah,
bro, ref, you can see the man's run across me for me to trip him up. I'm not intentional, but I'm running. He's running across me. What do you want me to do? Stop.
Mm. No,
Do you know what I mean? So that's all I'm gonna say, man. But yeah, nah, he's been cooking still, man.
Nah, man, it is true. Just before we get on to, I wanted to obviously just to do it like a little comparison between Gravenberch, Zubimendi, and Edison, just to kind of see how they've all done, you know, this season. Honestly, got a question here. Question: Bajcetic will be back next season, and ENNY also, in my opinion, will be a part of the first team. So, how many midfielders would you get realistically if, say, Endo was to leave? How many midfielders would you get? Go on, sorry, let's go on. I'm just trying to understand it.
See,
It depends.
the percentage. No, go on.
No, I was gonna say I think this is gonna be a hard question to answer now because I think you have to look at the development of Bajcetic on loan. You have to then look at how many games is Trey getting, you know, to see where he's gonna go. Is he gonna go on loan? Is the next step for him on loan?
Mm-hmm.
And is Wataru staying an extra year, or are we definitely selling him next season? Because if we sell him, Bajcetic comes back and his development is being cold because he's played Champions League, played all them games in the league. He's come back. That's already made in it. We're not signing someone like him. We're just gonna have him in there.
Mm-hmm.
Then Trey's one is his develop next to go on loan somewhere, or is it to come into the first team? I think he'll be to go on loan somewhere to play more minutes, get stronger, develop more. And then if Wataru then leaves, then that frees up a bit more space. If Wataru leaves and Trey goes on loan, I think we'll get 2. But then if we go, Bajcetic ain't ready, Trey's going to go on loan and we sell Wataru, then we might get 3.
It's a good shout. That's actually a good shout.
That's
what do you think, Harris?
You see, with the percentage situation, I think it's kind of awkward now because if you look at the season where we were dead, he was starting, he was getting all the praise, and I think he did really well. And then he got that injury. Then he was out for how long? It was like a year or something.
Yeah, it's growing in it. It's growing pains and stuff.
And then I've seen him, and he's not the same as he. Yeah, because he's got so much. What's the word? Because he's in these conversations, like in terms of being the future of our midfield. Still, we're gonna have to.
He's another one got bare hype, but I don't even understand.
Exactly. Exactly.
He's a good player.
He is cold, but it's like, has he been set? He's had a setback. He's had a big setback, and it's like I think our fans see him like having a place. I can't find the word. It's like his future is set, for example, to be in our midfield, which I don't think is the case. That's what I was looking for. Because if we want to maintain our level at the top, if we're gonna have youngsters, they have to be top. I'm saying like Rico Lewis top because I rated Rico Lewis high. Yeah, I don't see that with practically any of our youngsters really.
Can I just ask you this quick question, then, Harris, to do with it with Rico Lewis? Obviously, he come through the academy doing well, but also the style and the system suits him as a player. But he's a cold player, don't get me wrong. But because he's got a really good manager, the style and the system suits him, he can then drop into this team and offer the exact what, all the other players. He's still not on the level of, obviously, the Bernardo Silva.
Yeah.
He can offer that. I think that could be the same for Bajcetic, in my opinion. I feel like he's now going to come into a team with a manager that has a style and a system, and the role he will play, he could come in and look really, really good. But you're right, because he's had that setback. I think that's why we sent him out on loan, because of the setback, and we wouldn't have given him enough minutes this year. I feel like that loan would then accelerate and get him back to where we kind of saw him, or where not maybe us as on the panel, but where the fan base saw him and was talking about, oh my days, he's so cold. Sending him on loan will excel that, and then playing in the Champions League, that's gonna massively give him the confidence as well. But that's all I wanted to add, bro.
But you see, with why I used Rico Lewis is because I've seen him go on an international level and maintain his level in in not so much of a similar system to Pep, because Carsley ball and Pep they're different. Like, yes, they do maintain possession, but in terms of how they may build up is a bit different. Or some of the positions that some players may take up. I've seen Rico Lewis go and start for England and keep his level, and that's signs of a really good player. Yeah, like his decision making is top tier, in the final third. Such a small player, like he knows his role in the team, and he will come and maintain that level. And I think he could be a really, really top player if he maintains his level, which I think he will. Yeah, and then when it comes to like a trade, that's another player that I'm looking at, and I'm thinking people are just like not saying overhyping him because he is a good player as well, but it's like people want him to have his starting spot sealed, even though we haven't seen much of him throughout professional level. I can understand like a Kwanzaa, because Kwanzaa's come on the stage and man's proved it. But after seeing a couple of academy games, and academy football and professional football is two different things. It's like everyone just wants every youngster that may do well for the academy. Obviously, it's understandable because you support the team, but like you think that they're gonna maintain that level. We don't know that yet.
You know what it is though, Harris, just to add to that. When it comes to the academy level, when we are talking about the next best thing or the next player coming through, the hype was around Trey Nonny. The hype was about him, bro. The way he was killing teams just at that level, because he's competing against the next guys that's going to come through. That's the guys. He's not competing with the Premier League ones. He's just the next set of batch of youngsters coming through that they see that could get to that level. He was the guy at the top of that in terms of midfield, looking saucy, cold, doing whatever, scoring goal, making the game look easier than it should be for your age group and who he is as a player. And that's why when we get to see him, I know we overhype our players at times, but he's not one of them kind of guys he's talented, bro, and he's gonna go far. Whether it's with us, I don't know. But he's and when they spend the type of money they spent on him, bro, they definitely want to recoup some money from him. So whether that's playing him and getting it back through over the years, or selling him and making a profit back, whether the case. But
I think what I fear is if Trey gets an opportunity and he doesn't do well. Let's say he's stinking it up. Let's say, which touch wood he doesn't. Yeah, I don't want our fans to kind of switch.
They will though. So that's not
exactly because we've seen it with Szoboszlai. Because I remember seeing Szoboszlai come through, and I know he's like the age gap is different, but like I've seen the hype that Szoboszlai was getting, best midfield in the league. Like, he was getting comparisons with Odegaard and all of these players, and then look at him now. Like I was not expecting this like at all. And then when you look at it like from a trade perspective, like I've seen Liverpool fans put in a conversation of a Kobe Mainoo before. This was a couple of months ago. Yeah, obviously the level's different, but it's like, let's say he doesn't do too well. What's your opinion going to be on him after? Because we've seen you put this hype on him, but then if he doesn't do too well, you guys are just going to switch. So I think that's my fear with it. We've seen Kwanzaa deal with the pressure. We've seen Besetic deal with the pressure to an extent, not for a long period of time because he picked up an injury. But it's like whether Trey can maintain this level. We haven't seen him as much yet. We've seen him in the cup against Southampton, but that was off the bench. But yeah, let's just see if he can maintain, not even maintain because he hasn't maintained the level. But let's see if he can build up a level and see if from there going forward if he can keep it.
From a club aspect, he's at the perfect place, isn't it? They'll keep him grounded.
Grounded.
And when it's the right time. And Klopp used to do it as well, whether you liked it or not. He used to time it the right time to bring these guys into the team. Pep does it well as well. He times it, brings the players in, and give them a little taste and tell them they have to perform to kind of get there. And I think Arne Slot will as well. He's got an eye for talent. He'll wait, see, he knows Trey is good, but when you listen to his press conference when it was like, oh, surely he should be playing in the League Cup the other day. It was like, yeah, but he needs to be stronger, and he obviously, he can train with us, but he needs minutes. He has to play football. So there's no point we know he's good, but there's no point of just putting him on the bench, bro. Watching the man then play ain't the same as playing. He has to play. Yeah. And that's why I think maybe he will go on loan next season. I think if unless he has like a mad where he steps in a couple of games this season, if he gets the opportunity and he actually like sets the world alight in terms of you're like, oh, we can't. There's no point alone in him. Just give him minutes here, bro, because he'll do well. If that's not the case, he'll go on loan and then just smoke it up and then come back, and then we'll have that ready-made player. But yeah, he's at the perfect club for that, and that's why we even went out and got the Rio kid as well, because these are the next guys coming through that's talented, and everyone's talking about these guys in terms of from an academy aspect, and he's the next one. That's why we go and get these type of players, bro, early, so we have them. And that's why we went out and pushed the boat out for Trey, because we was like, nah, we have to get this shoot in. And there's another one as well we're trying to get in as well. I think it's from Wolves, another young youth. But
I think I know.
I heard something like that.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. I think I guess and big up, by the way, Jerry. Love for jumping in this morning, my bro.
Big up. If I by the way, quick one, if I have to bounce in it, it's because I'm in the office in it. So
no, bro.
Cool.
Come on, man. I'll get your thoughts obviously in a sec before you kind of go. But I guess you see this academy stuff it all depends, because we know, like with Liverpool previously, obviously it might be different now. The way that we kind of work with our academy obviously isn't really the way that obviously we see with Chelsea. Over the years, what have we seen Chelsea do? They've gotten these academy players, whether they're good enough or not, doesn't really matter. They've sold them for quite a lot of money. When we look at the Mark Gaye's, the Tammy Abrahams, the Mason Mounts, the Conor Gallagher's, all of these kind of players that they've been, and there's way more, by the way, that I'm just not really remembering. They've been able to kind of do that. When you look at, maybe if you even look at like an Arsenal, they're kind of in the little, it's a weird patch that they're in. They've got quite a lot of youngsters that they played against Bolton the other day, but they're not getting too many opportunities. Is it no, what's his name? Patino or Patino, whatever his name is, the midfielder. He obviously kept it moving from Arsenal because, again, not really getting opportunities. I feel like Liverpool now, because of the way that Klopp kind of tried to introduce it, we are trying to give these youngsters opportunities to play. So the Treys and stuff like that, the Bajcetic, the Kwanzas, the Bradleys, Rio in a few years, whatever, they'll probably get their opportunity. And then from there, it is, as in said, what do we do? Like, are we going to just sell for the profit? No worries. I'm good with that, by the way. If you're not good enough, there's no way keeping him around just because he's a local, well, not even local, but he's a academy player and stuff like that. Bro, sell the guy. Yeah, do you get what I mean? Sell the guy. Jerry, I just wanted to get your thoughts. Obviously, you know why we're here. We're obviously looking at the hype train of Ryan Gravenberch kind of thing. Yeah. And I wanted your opinion, right? Obviously, before the season started, how you kind of looked at Gravenberch. And now that you are obviously seeing what he's done, have you been impressed? Like, do you think we still need to upgrade? What's your thoughts kind of behind it?
If I'm being honest, he was just a player in our team. He was just a player that could potentially come good if he could replicate what he did at Ajax. Underwhelming for me last season, man. Like a bit of like a lot of style, no substance. Like, I mean, he looked a player. When you broke it down, you're like, right, I'm not really rating what he's doing. Like, he doesn't keep the ball well, doesn't tackle well. He's having to learn how to run on the clock. Do you know what I mean? Is that a midfielder we needed? That was the discussion I was kind of having in my head. Obviously, in the ideal world, I was thinking, yeah, he's going to come in and he's going to ball out. Couple games he did in Europa League, but it just didn't work out last season to the point where, he just weren't coming on after a while, man. He was just holding bench. He was holding bench on a regular basis. This season, though, he's impressed me a lot. He's impressed me a lot, man, purely because of the fact that because obviously he was away at the Euros, Slot seemingly, and I think he still does, but took a massive liking to Jones. I think he was talking about Jones in press conferences. All the media was around Jones in training, and you still see it now where he's 1v1 with people, showing his feet. Do you know what I mean? And you can see kind of like Jones coming out and saying, he's enjoying this system and stuff. It looked like, Jones is going to be nailed on to be in this team. Gravenberch came in and had a really, really good game. Rightfully so, started the next game in pre-season. And since then, he's become an ever-present in the midfield. I mean, if we didn't have him in midfield, you start to look at it like, how does the dynamic start to look? He's been really, really good. His ability to, be quite responsible in that role. Like, he's not just marauding forward without any kind of cover. He's defending well. He's making crucial interceptions at the right moments, which is the basics of being in that kind of deeper role. But he's also showing his ability going forward. So being able to carry the ball really well, finding passes in between the lines. Yeah, he's been really, really good. And yeah, look, the slot system's really, really helped him, man. Really helped him. I think if he was under clock for one more season, I think he would have struggled really, really badly. I think we'd have seen a kind of similar thing to how we saw with Tuchel. So for me, I'm like, yeah, slot coming in, perfect timing for him. And I'm looking at it now like the same as a lot of people. Do we really need a number 6? And the reason why I say that is we don't know. Of course, these players could potentially be better, but when we're looking at the stats, Gravenberch is up there in terms of the stats, in terms of what we want. I know you had the stats up before. I think you done it per 90 now, but his stats are incredible in terms of the passes he's making. He's outperforming Zubimendi, Edison Jose, Bruno Guimaraes as well. The only thing I would say is the system has changed, and obviously all these players are playing in different systems. If we went and put a Zubimendi at Liverpool, how do his stats improve? How much better is Zubimendi as a player in that position now? It's very difficult to judge, because unless you have a direct conversation with Slot and start to find out what he wants from one of the midfielders, we never know what he would ideally want, because ultimately he has to make do with what he's got. And right now, what he's doing is fantastic. In an ideal world, he might want a Zubimendi type. Obviously, we went in for that player. And maybe the dynamic in the midfield looks a bit different. Maybe we build up a bit different. Maybe it's not as back to front as we sometimes see it, where we do still go quite long when we have to. We don't just play around the back for no reason. But look, apart from that, from his perspective, there's nothing else he could have done apart from essentially, like metaphorically, put one foot in front of the other and just maintain that consistency. And that's what he's done, man. And look, he's a talented player. And I think, obviously, we get onto a lot of players, but at the club, but look, majority of the people, 99% of the players at Liverpool, they're all very, very, very good players, man. They're very, very talented players. And if you create a system for them to where they can thrive, then they'll be really, really good players. So that goes from someone like Trent. If you want Trent to be this attacking maestro as a fullback, he's ridiculous. If you want Konate to be this all-out defender, he's really, really good. If you want Robertson to just get forward and whip balls into the box, and you get runners into the box, he's going to look like a really good fullback. These are really, really good players. And he's just a beneficiary of the slot system. So, look, really, really good. He has to keep it up. But this is only part of the battle. If Liverpool go on and get a next player, what happens then? Where do we go from that position? How does he overcome that next challenge? Because that is going to be the next challenge. Do you know what I mean? It's the manager coming in, the next manager coming in, or not the next manager, sorry, the next player coming in. Do you know what I mean? To battle him, because right now he's got rid of kind of Endo in that situation. Endo's not the main guy for him, so it's a relatively easy kind of task. You know, the manager's not really feeling this player. What happens though when the manager gets the player that he wants in that position? How do you go and overcome that challenge? How do you go and kind of start to do what the manager wants if he's still interested in getting someone else? And we are probably going to get someone. Might not be in January, might be in the summer, might be next January after that, but we are probably going to have to go and get a 6. It's how does he go and perform under that pressure? And look, I think right now he's doing well, man. And he's proving me wrong. I didn't think he'd be this good at Liverpool. Like, I thought he was a talented player. I didn't think it would materialize at Liverpool, but lo and behold, he's able to go and do it. And for me, he's a mainstay in the team right now. Like, as long as he stays fit, for me, he's a mainstay in the team. So kudos to him, man. Kudos to him. We've got to big him up.
I wanted to ask you guys this. I think I asked this question before, right? And also, I got these players up there. I've just picked players who play in the similar, if not the exact same position. Might be different roles. So, like a Baliba, I don't think is the same as a Gravenberch, and Guimaraes might be different to, I don't know, Kovacic, whatever. However, you guys, kind of want to see it. But I asked this question before about people, the fans now, from what I'm seeing online anyway, talking about wanting this controller. Can you guys just name me a midfielder who you would call a controller in midfield, if that exists? If anyone, like anyone, I've even typed it on Google, and the names that come up don't sound like the names.
Frankie de Jong, I would say.
Okay, Frankie de Jong, so that type of midfielder.
Rodri.
Yeah. Rodri. Okay, cool. So you look at Rodri, Frankie de Jong. Okay.
For me, it's the tempo dictators. It's the ones that, if you go back historically, it's obviously not in today's game, but it's Jabi Alonso. It's
Javi Hernandez, them type of.
Yeah, it's the players when they get the ball, they dictate at what pace the team plays at. They dictate whether the team attacks straight away or whether they want to retain possession. They dictate whether we're drawing players in or whether we're trying to get in behind.
Would you guys class Verratti as a midfielder like that?
Yeah.
Okay. That's the midfielder I saw, and I was like, maybe Verratti type. Is that what you're looking for?
Where they're getting the ball, and the pace on the ball, that and where in the area they played the pass into, gives so many instructions to the rest of the team. So if I'm receiving it off the back foot, if I'm playing it short, it means that we're keeping our shape. There's no point of, let's say, Nunes running in behind. Nunes in behind. But as soon as I go and I turn on the back foot and I go bang and I zip it into Salah, first time into his feet, like across the ground, right? And he gets it straight away, then we know, all right, we're attacking as a team. If I go and position myself in a certain area of the pitch, it means that, okay, we know what we're going. It's essentially, he's the one that dictates and controls the game. So when's the right time to keep possession? When's the right time to try be a bit more risky with the pass? When do we have to go back? When do we go forwards? When do we? When do we play fast? When do we play slower? When do we? It's all those kind of nuances in the game, I'd say.
Is that Kovacic this season, blood?
That's Kovacic this season.
Fuck
it. He always goes under the radar for me, Kovacic.
Yeah, obviously because he got Rodri. I was trying to
think at Chelsea. I'm saying as well. He went under the radar.
Is there another midfielder? Like, I was trying to think of all the DMs, like top 5 DMs in the Premier League, because people are saying Gravenberch is the best. So who are the other players? Like, who are the other DMs?
Lamina, bro, for Wolves, bro.
Lamina.
He's a good player, man. He's a good player. Again, this is what I'm saying about football, innit? Like the differences between players are not that much. He's just someone that's had an attitude problem, but you're not at Juventus if you're garbage. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're not at Juventus if you're garbage. Same as like, there's another one that's similar to that, like Højbjerg. Yeah, you're not dead if you're at Bayern Munich as a player, innit? You're just not that. You're not a bad player. Of course, you have ups and downs, but these are players that are very, very, very good. They're just at a team for whatever reason, and obviously they start to become comfortable. But Lemina's a baller, man. Lemina's a baller. I love him as a player.
Israel, if I say something real quick,
bro, speak.
It's a bit off topic, but if you can guess the Liverpool player that is rumored to have a foot injury, who is it?
Jota.
Yes.
Has he actually got an injury?
This is what I'm seeing on Twitter. And I'm seeing Kieser's not in training as well.
Oh, that's always fantastic, isn't it? All right. So this is obviously, I'll get to that in a bit.
Kieser's not in training. Jesus Christ. Is that the flu team? Is Nunes in training?
I mean, I hope he is. Let's just say. I think so. I've seen the other players. Oh, no, actually, he is. Saying Nunes and Robertson were spotted in Liverpool, so he can train.
Bro, this is becoming funny. Yeah, every time FIFA is released, or every time there's something around FIFA.
Don't start the conspiracy, bro.
Bro, it come like the Neymar thing when his sister's birthday was always in February, and then he would
coincidentally. I got him over the team to a good level, blood. He said I need a week off still,
bro.
when he gave VVD, when he got Van Dijk his card, he said, "I'm getting you in my team straight away." He knew it was time to make an excuse and say, "Oh, my foot hurts," or something. So you can't travel with the squad. Man can stay at home, kick back, go and get some players. Yeah, and it is true with the whole Neymar sister thing. Because I remember that happening every year.
Bro, it's just silly. Big up Tyler, by the way, again. Much love, my bro. Thank you very much, by the way, for the super chats that you have sent over the last couple of days, man. I proper appreciate that, man. So, man, big up to your damn self, man. I need to make you a mod up in here, actually, to be fair. But we'll sort that out. I'll sort that out for you. But yeah, obviously, this is just the stats from the season. Looking at a few of the players, and as N said, I mean, technically, Kovacic, he loses possession the least. He has more touches than anyone. Completes more passes in the opposition half than anyone. Well, then these guys anyway on the screen. Passing accuracy, that would make sense, to be fair, because of the team that you play in. So I kind of understand that. But I mean, Kovacic has been pretty good himself. You know what I mean? And the thing is, as Harris, you said it there, I have always thought like more so when he moved to Manchester City, because I said at Chelsea, I always thought he was like a good player, but I didn't feel that you had the players around you to kind of facilitate what you were really good at. Where you're just like I don't know how to explain what he is, but
the system,
I feel like, he's like
the system that he was playing in. Like, I'm looking at him and Jorginho because them two were a pivot at times. I was thinking if they're in a more possession-based system, them man are cooking. But I'm seeing them man defend. Yeah, like as holding midfielders against like the top teams, of course. Like you know, an FA Cup final. Yeah, I'm seeing them man proper like they're being instructed to be like two defensive midfielders that are like dogs and everything. I've seen them flying into tackles. I was thinking this is not Jorginho and Kovacic. Like if them man are at Man City, like playing with Rodri, you're gonna see them popping ball. But then I've always looked at them and just thought, yeah, this is not the team for them, man. At Chelsea, but yeah,
sure. No. I agree, bro. Like that. Yeah, but then when he moved to City, I was like, bro, this move makes so much sense. Like in terms of the way City play, you're the type of player that you'll be a good option to have off the bench.
Yeah,
you know, so to speak. Big up, I did send you the link. I messaged you, so yeah, if you are free, bruv, you can hop in anytime. Max is obviously big up, Max. Do you not know on other channels, people have been saying Konate, since he's been here, he's been a bit part player. Romero and VDV have been more consistent
because they don't pick up as much injuries. Konate's picked up like muscle injuries, whereas Van der Ven will pick up that one hamstring injury and he'll be back. But Konate's picked up various injuries. But you're not going to tell me that any of them are better defenders than Konate. Like,
and I don't think they've been as consistent as Konate anyway, even with the injuries that he has had. Like Romero, especially. I honestly think he is so overrated. It is unreal. I do not.
I like him. I think he's a decent defender. Like,
yeah. Okay. Cool. We can go with decent, but the way some more Spurs fans, to be fair, and I guess they need something to have Spurs trophies. But yeah, when I'm like Romero, like brother, like you know when you think about if I had to build an 11 of players, brother, you'll be in my like C team or D team or something. Like you ain't gonna make no 11. Yeah, Romero, VDV. Yes, I will take him. But
what I like about Romero is that he doesn't rely on his pace as much as defenders do now. He's actually got that aggression about him. I know it can be uncontrolled at times. Yeah,
at times, brother, you're just a rash, stupid defender who thinks that with this level of aggression that it's going to take you to some level that people are going to be shook of you. Brother, I've seen you get megged more times than other defenders. Like, let's not do all of this. Like, for me, honestly, like I do not even like him. Like, I actually just look at him and think, brother, I think you're actually kind of rubbish. I actually think it gets masked quite a lot with certain aspects. Like, I'm not saying you're some shit defender. Of course, you're not shit. But to say you're one of the top defenders in the league, yeah, if we're doing a top 20, then maybe we'll stop putting you in. But
Ramos is similar to that. I'm not saying like of course he's got on the ball and everything, but like when it comes to like defending at times, I know obviously he's a good defender, but we have seen him get absolutely cooked at times. We don't see.
Yeah, but you're talking
like a Virgil or like a Hummels,
yeah, but
or that
I've seen Van Dijk get cooked many a time. But I'm saying, no, because you because
change your wording.
Many a time
is too much.
Firstly, but before we even get into this, big up Tyler Jones. Much love and appreciation as well, man. Big up to yourself. Please, bro, enjoy the rest of your damn day, man. I much appreciate it, man. Much love. Okay, so let's talk about the elephant in the room here, because I feel like you're saying you've seen these players get so we've seen every defender get embarrassed. Let's just use that word. They've been embarrassed. It's defenders, like I kind of expect it at some stage in time, right? So when we're talking about like a Ramos versus like a Romero, I know you're not meaning like totality, but I don't think they're even similar like that, because the Ramos that you're talking about, I feel like he was actually genuinely good at defending, where those other kind of bits were like, yes, at times, but I almost feel like it was because he played for Real Madrid, and really we only ever really saw that in like those kind of high pressured games where he might just go over the top. I don't really feel like that was too much in his game anyway, because he was such a good defender. Right back
Ramos,
Sevilla.
Yeah, right back Ramos though was that, you could say that. I think that in terms of
cool. If you want, okay.
Right back Ramos, but centre back Ramos, nah.
You couldn't like that. Ramos
was a different breed.
The reason why I say that is because some of like the red cards that he would pick up, like, it was just so silly, and I was thinking like just like such rash and dumb defending, and that's why I said Ramos.
Yeah, that's a Real Madrid thing, man.
He said
always on that thing. Pepe and them, man, like you know them silly defenders. You know them silly.
No, but to be fair, he did have a little crossover with Pepe. You know them ones there, like Pepe just kind of threw a bit of his mad man.
Even with his centre back partner Romero, Van der Ven. Yes, he's fast, but he can actually read the game very well. Like if you look at those interceptions that he makes, like from Rashford the other day, the way how he just I know it was a heavy touch, but he read it well and he was able to step in correctly and then drive the ball forward. I feel like having pace, of course, it does really, really help your game. And then even with the centre backs that are not particularly fast, like Hummels, which is why I hold Hummels to a high regard. Like, in that Madrid final against Dortmund, let's be real, he was locking up that Madrid attack. But then, of course, you see with Real Madrid what they do. That man will turn up in the final minutes.
Score.
Yeah, and just break your hearts. But yeah, with the consistency with Kanate, Van der Ven, Romero, in performance, okay, yeah, I hear that, because we have seen Ibu with some iffy performances at times. Romero, I wouldn't even say is consistent like that, because he will do something stupid. Van der Ven, it's hard to judge his performance when he plays in with a team that concedes such a lot of goals. You won't say, he's performing or anything. You would say, look at him and say, he's conceding bare goals. That's how you would see it with them. But then with Kanate, I wouldn't. Would you swap Van der Ven for Kanate? I mean, would you swap Kanate for Van der Ven?
No.
Nah. There's not like there's no difference. I don't feel like I do that.
Would you swap Van der Ven for any of our defenders? Would you swap any of our defenders for Van der Ven?
No.
Oh, for Van, yeah. Gomez or Kwanzaa, like you can take your pick, but
no. Hey, GG, hold on, bro. Let's think about it. You didn't have to answer that quick, bro. Like, just
no,
that's the quickest. That's the
but
quickest
Van der Ven
answer.
is better than Kwanzaa.
It's Black History Month. You're throwing the black men out the team. Like
that's the quickest answer I've heard from G.
Yes, Black History Month. So I'll take get rid of Kwanzaa and Gomez. Like,
No, I didn't say get rid. Bro, we're asking a question. You just asked a question. Would I take? Yes.
I'm happy with my guys, man.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, you can be happy, but if you don't want better for yourself and for your team, are you really even a fan? I don't know. Like sometimes I wonder.
Yeah.
Like,
what them man, they're better than Van der Ven, man.
I have a question. Another one.
Yes.
You know Jason Kunde. He said the other day.
Oh, the Chelsea fan guy.
Yeah, on TalkSport.
TalkSport. Yeah.
He said the other day, Van der Ven is a better centre half than Van Dijk. Yeah, and it's not really a question, but how do you feel about that? Like that someone who's just come to the Premier League, and man's already getting shouts saying, he's better than Van Dijk. Because Kunde hates Van Dijk. I don't know where it
was
is.
this after his goal, the assist the other day?
No, this was like 2 weeks ago.
That's just his opinion, bro. I ain't even got time to even. Sometimes people just have to say stuff, bro. Like that's just saying stuff.
Because, like, when
what he said to back up his theory? Did he say anything? Because I haven't seen it.
he said something like, he said something about the Madrid final where Van Dijk's defending for Valverde's cross or whatever. He said he's too passive. He said, Terry, Ferdinand, them are not all better.
So he picked one game to then. So forget all of Virgil's other games.
He said he's had one good season. That's what he said as well, which I think is very abysmal to say.
No, but then in the same breath, he said he's better, and this guy has only had what? Not even a good season yet.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? With some football pundits or attempted football pundits.
You know, people will be like, you know what, he's got a point. You know, I'm like, bro, all right, I'm done. No man, never then listening. No,
even with the Terry comparisons, I think it's more of a disrespect to Virgil, like in terms of ability, not in terms of trophies, because we know trophies is night and day between them two. But if you're looking at abilities and like how they can adapt to a system, like if Terry was to play in a high line, like let's say he was to play in our Tottenham high line, it's a long day for him.
John Terry wasn't even a ball playing type of defender. He was very good at reading the game, positionally, very good.
Yeah,
leader, very good. But high line, you start putting man in them deep waters, high line, and you have to play out from the back. It's long. It's long.
So, which is why I hold Virgil to a high regard, because I feel like he has.
John Terry ain't taking on the back foot and running past players. G man, don't even look up for the ancestors.
Just but
even Yap Stam was saying it. Even Yap Stam said it.
But remember, you guys you're saying but he just wouldn't play. Like, okay, prime example, he'd just be a 10 times better version of a Pau Torres. Pau Torres doesn't need to play in a high line for him to look quite good in the team. Like, you just saw it out at the back. You just be like, all right, well, we won't play a high line. So because we know that this guy isn't fast and he won't be able to play in a high line though.
Do you know what it is?
But not a high line like
if you saw last season. If you saw last season against us at Anfield, he was playing in a high line against us.
But I feel like this season, why he looks so much better is that they've kind of made it a lot more conservative. So I feel like you just do that for John. And remember, as En said, it's like, for me, he's better than Van Dijk at reading the game. Like, his reading of the game, that's probably his best trait, I'd probably say. And I feel like he does that better than a Van Dijk in terms of, it's a level of understanding, in terms of when to go, when to stay, when to shift, when to move. I feel like Terry was top at that. But everything else, bro,
you know what it
Van
is?
Dijk is way better. Do you know what I mean?
When you and this is why I've always said he's the best I've ever seen as well. It's when you can see deficiencies in some of these men's games. Ferdinand was probably the closest to being a complete defender as well. He had speed, could read the game. He wasn't greatest at reading it, but he was good at doing what he needed to do. But Virgil, you could put him in any era, man, and he could defend. And there's hardly any deficiencies in the guy's game. You could probably just moan about the way he is, that laid back, relaxed kind of defending. You could moan about that's just a part of him. But ability wise, there's not much in his game that you could not.
From an ability standpoint. It's always been with him. I've said this many times on stream. I was watching clips of Southampton Van Dijk. The Van Dijk that we see now, especially when he came in as a centre back for Liverpool, these are two completely different Virgils in terms of how they play. Southampton Virgil was a lot more aggressive than the Virgil that we see now in terms of when it comes to one-on-one duels. I still see the same Virgil when the striker has his back to him and he's going to intercept pass or something and he's rushing the attacker. But one-on-one duels is completely different because I'm seeing Virgil putting a lot more side challenges. I've seen him put his foot in more, be more confident. Yeah, I feel like when he came into Liverpool, he kind of changed this game. I don't know why, but it does work in some instances, and I do like to compare the two. Southampton Virgil and this Virgil in terms of their playing style from a defensive standpoint when it comes to 1v1 duels with attackers.
Nah, man, I hear it. Just before we continue, big up Honesty.
Big up
again. Another one of the bros of the channel, man. Big up to you guys, man. You guys really do get the channel ticking over. Go subscribe to Keeping It GTV. Let's get G to 100 subs. and subscribe to Ends and Savage. Yes, guys, you already know, man. I'll put the link in there. Honestly, he's already done that for us anyway, but I'll throw it in there again, guys. I'm on 61 subs on my other channel. So yeah, man, let's get to 100 subs, man. Let's get to 100 subs. But it's interesting, like listening to you, like listening to everybody. You know, in regards to, you know, talking about like the Canates, the Van der Vens, the John Terrys and stuff. I just think they're all like different types of defenders, isn't it? Like, so it's like, it is, you are right. Like, it is super difficult, you know, in order to be able to kind of, you know, like, how do I compare, I don't know, like a Ferdinand, you know, to a Van Dijk, like different eras. Like, how do I not know that Virgil? How do I not know that Rio Ferdinand in today's game? He would be a different type of athlete. So he would, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Sometimes I find it difficult, like to really, you know, try and kind of compare them, man. Big up Honesty again for the super chat, my bro. Much love, much love. He's saying, guys, subscribe. Hugo Online, it's there. Football with Ends, it's there. Savage Talks Football, it's there. Don't be pricks. Don't be idiots. Make sure you guys subscribe. And if you're too lazy, Honesty's already put it in there for you. You know, he's put it there for you guys to just click. But maybe you're watching this on the replay, so maybe you haven't, you know, you weren't able to necessarily click it on the live chat. In my description, everybody's links is there. Harris, his Twitter is there. Ends, all of his channels is there. Savage, all of his channels is there. Heck, I've got Enny's in there. Heck, I've got Jerry's in there. I've got everybody's. All you got to do is just click. You ain't got to do nothing. Just click, subscribe, click, follow, move. That's it. Click, follow, move. Free movements. If Gravenberch can do it, you can do it, guys. Come on, man. Just make sure. Just make sure you do that. But yeah,
Gravenberch, man.
Yeah, do it for Gravenberch, man. But yeah, that's my issue, you know, with like today and stuff like that. When we do this comparison, I get it. I fully get it, because like I showed with the Gravenberch thing about man's calling him the baby Pogba, man's calling him, you know, the mini Yaya and Rude Hullet and, you know, crazy Seedorf and, you know, all of these kind of things. Like, I'm like, right, like, can we just not let Gravenberch just be Gravenberch? Like, can he not just be Gravenberch, and then he can be his own player? Because then I feel like when you try to do the comparison thing, you end up putting man in a difficult, like Steven Gerrard, Zabozalai type of situation, where now man are saying take the number 8 off of him. What do you mean take the number 8? Like, it's a number. That number don't mean nothing. I don't care about that. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, it's just a number.
Do you not buy into that stuff?
No,
like when it comes to,
not at all. As in, like, I've never ever bought into the whole number.
That's just childish, bro.
Bro, real talk. That is just childish. Big up again, honestly, man.
Big
love.
Bro.
Bayesian Reds TV. Don't be pricks. Make sure you guys subscribe to the man. Them.
Especially if you love Salah, bro. Subscribe, man.
What did you say?
Especially if you love Salah, just subscribe.
How about if you just like the content of the lads over there on Bayesian Reds TV, you go and subscribe. We've got no agendas. I don't think Pops or Barnes. I don't think none of them got any agendas. Yeah, I'm trying to say, don't worry, Pops. I got your back, bro. I got your back. But yeah. It's that. First of all, that's childish. As in, I don't care what you're number 7. All right, great. Do you get what I mean? Like, we need to stop being so synonymous with numbers.
With number 7, you like if you was a United fan and Mason Mount had it, you wouldn't care.
No, I wouldn't really care. I spoke to my boy about this because he's a United fan, and obviously he cares to a point of like, because of the people who have worn number 7 previously, he didn't want my man to get it. But I was like, the reality is, if he ended up cooking, you'd be like, oh yeah, he's a number. You know what I'm saying? Like, he'd be whatever. It's only because he's been so shit. That's why man look at it like, oh, you can't be number 7. Why can't he be? Did someone tell Trent to be 66? Some random number that he decided to be, and he's just kept that. 66 now. That's Trent. Everyone now knows that is Trent. If you do 66, that
if he was to be to another team, I wonder if he would take if he'll take it again.
He probably would. He
would have to. It would have to, because it's his branding now, isn't it?
It's his brand, yeah, exactly. But it's just one of those, like, you can create your own thing. Like, even those who wore it. Suarez wore number 7. Who else wore number 7 before that?
Was it Barnes?
I don't know.
Milner had 7 for a bit.
Yeah, Milner.
I know Milner years had it. Who's wore number 7? Number 7.
I'm pretty sure. Didn't Barnes wear number 7?
Peter Beardsley's worn it. Harry Kewell's worn it.
Man, like Harry Kewell, you know.
He was
You know
number,
what? I actually
yeah,
really
he was
like.
number 10 actually, John Barnes.
Man, like Kewell, did Downing get it? Did Downing have it at any point? No.
I'm trying to see.
Nah, Downing with bro. What was that? It was that 20 games, no assists and no goals, blood. That was my blood.
Don't talk to me about
Downing was up, bro. Downing came in mad.
Dalglish was number 7.
Dalglish. Like you can create your own legacy. Do you get? I'm trying. Like we're talking about Dalglish. No one complains when Suarez were and done this. Like you just create your own legacy with these numbers thing, man. I don't care about that stuff, bro. Like I'm not fighting you over the number thing. You know, although, you know, when I think of number 9s, I'm like, I don't know what it is, but I've always looked at the number 9 as that's like a bad boy number. Like I don't know why, but there's just something about a 9 just looks nice on the shirt, and it's this is my number 9. Like so, if you're kind of dead, then
Nunes.
I'm not. Like I said, there's certain.
Please end the stream, blood. End the stream.
Guys, if you got any more questions, we would then end the stream in 5 minutos. Ends, what have you got later on again? Tell the people, man.
Preview show later, guys. So if you're bored, have nothing else to do. I'm joking, man. Listen, come and watch along. Come and watch us do the preview, man. We'll chop it up. Look at team selection, speak about any injuries. I haven't watched his press conference yet. I'll watch it because I'm sure it was today, right? It would have been today because we're playing tomorrow. So, yeah, I'll watch that, see if there's anything he gives away in terms of injury. I'll double-check the Jota. He has got a foot injury. Seeing if Nunes is fit, maybe the reasons on why, Chiesa is not in training. Select our team, do our prediction, man, and have a laugh doing it, man. So, guys, come and support, man. Come and support. Come and watch. So, 7 o'clock, I've got it scheduled for.
As you heard it here, so you can get onto ENDZ if he does not do it this evening, like he was supposed to do the call-in the other day, and he didn't.
I was ill, bro. What do you want me to do, bro?
I didn't ask what you were doing. I'm just saying because you didn't do it. You give me excuses and that. Like I didn't ask for the excuses.
I hear it.
We were on my channel and I was bigging up. I was like, "Yo, ENDZ guys, you need to make sure tune in, call-in show, boom, boom, boom. We can chat about the game. I think it's gonna be really good conversation, bro." I was doing the whole PR and. All of a sudden, we didn't even get a message. Yeah, man, I'm a bit upset.
My bad, bro. My bad.
Question: do you, man, think more players will retire sooner because of the mad schedule they have got?
I don't think it's because of the schedule. I think financially, man, they'll be cool, man. With the likes of trying to go to Saudi to get that little final paycheck, some man might do it early to get that bag from early, save that, invest it, and then they'll be like, well, what do I really need to play? Past 30, I can just play till I'm 30, 31 and then retire, bro, and I'll be in a good position.
What do you think, Harris?
I think it could go that way, but it is kind of like peak. Like Man City and Neymar in Saudi, it's upsetting me now because I miss watching Neymar, and I feel like he definitely has the ability to still play at the top, but it's just down to him really and. His injuries, he was picking up enough injuries, man. Like, he picked up an ACL already as well. He's back, of course.
Back now, yeah.
I think he's back in the Brazil squad as well. He was shortlisted. Because they do need him, because them man are really stinky, man. But is it a choice that, you never know. Because let's say if I was to make it as a professional footballer at the top level, would I go to Saudi? You never know. But right now, my thinking is no. But like, my mind could change in a few years.
Man starts telling man, yo, hear what I'm saying though, Harris. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, we'll give you 90 bags a week. Yeah, these times your club's only trying to give you 20 bags a week. Well, you'll look at that extra 70k and be like, yo, brother. And that's me using the small end of the scale. We don't. These guys are getting well over that, like 3, 4, 5, 600 grand. Like a week for some of these players, like so. But trust me, man, you would at least think about it. I'll tell you that much. Like,
It's
anybody who doesn't think about it, I think is just, bro, you're silly. Kick ball, what man can just kick ball and I can get paid all that money?
Tax free, blood.
Bro, tax free.
The only man them that I would feel disappointed is Harry Kane. So I need that guy to win a trophy. See, at Bayern Munich this season.
Go down, win the Saudi Cup, man. You're good, bro. Sorry.
I would love if Harry Kane didn't win a trophy. I would love.
How come?
Because it would just be so hilarious to see a player this good didn't even win a League Cup like in his whole life. Didn't even win one little trophy. You know how
What's
mad
supposed
that
to
is?
tell his kids?
I don't care about the damn kids. It's not my kids. Like, it's not
Tell
my
his kids about the individual records, man. You know, the goal scoring.
There you go. There we
But
go.
then they bring up the trophy question.
Unless his kids are dickheads like that, bro. I don't think they would, but they did. So, yo, Dad, did you win any trophies? Oh,
No,
God.
you know what it is? It won't even be his kids. It will be his kids' friends. He'll be like, I saw you, Kate. Well, your dad didn't win
Oh,
any.
at school.
Mine said, let's go and watch his highlights.
Yeah, bro. Highlights
What
of
about
never picking up
Venus's
trophies.
kids?
It
What
will
about
be like
Darwin's
Wayne Rooney's
kids?
kids, like versus like going to school with Harry Kane's kids or something like that. And then they'll be asking like, I saw your dad's the top England goal scorer there. Hey, that's sick, man. You might as well come to our house to see the trophies though. You know what I'm saying? I know you guys ain't got that.
Nah.
Piece of
I'll
that.
punch him in his face, man.
You might as well just come to our house, man, and just
I'll
I mean, we
punch
can
him
show
in
you the
his face. What do you mean
trophies.
come to your house to see trophies, bro? I'll punch you in the face.
Yeah, but obviously all you got is the golden boots and that, like the European golden shoes, and that's cool. Like my dad hasn't got as many as you. That's fairs. But you know, if you just want to look at a Premier League trophy, if you guys want to just to touch it, just so that you can at least tell your kids.
You know what? I'm gonna say this off.
Trophy.
I'm gonna say this off stream. I'm not gonna say it on stream because it could be a bit
Bro,
mad.
say it with your
but-
chest, bro. Brother, see,
Say it
like I
with,
said.
you think?
Hold on, before you say it.
Man,
Go on, say it
changing
with
the
your chest.
disclaimer, lad.
Say it with your chest, bro.
So like, let's say for example, yeah,
I need to get this
a
time.
certain guy that plays for Marseille. Yeah, number 10. Imagine.
Yeah,
his
lock
kids
it up.
that-
End it,
exactly.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
Again,
That's what I said.
this is a channel where people are allowed to express their views however they see fit. As the guys can see at the bottom of the screen, disclaimer: the views of the panelists are not my views. Ask away, bro. Do what you want to do.
I said, like, let's say his kids go to school, and then their situation is that everyone knows about the situation.
Yeah.
And then they bring up what happened. Yeah, that
Which they will.
Yeah. At some point in secondary school, that will be a topic. Yeah.
Yeah, facts. Yeah.
Yeah. They're gonna get cooked.
Of course they would. Yeah.
Like in terms of what they will say, I'm not gonna say what they're gonna say. Yeah. But it might be a bit deep.
Yeah, bro.
So a situation where head teachers might need to get involved or something.
But this is where he would have to, like, I don't know the child, I don't know how old the child is. I'm sure it's like still a baby or whatever.
Yeah,
so he's still got years until we get to like a secondary school thing. Bro, you got one of two choices. Either you just homeschool and just do it that way, because that would obviously keep them away from everything in that kind of sense. Or if you are going to send them to school, but we just need to move to another country. It's gonna just have to be one of those ones, like move to another country, hope that in the next 15 years everyone's just literally forgotten about it.
Someone's gonna find out or
no.
Because there's always something in school. Because you know what people are like in school. Someone's always in someone's business. The moment that you find out about someone's professional footballer dad or something, they're gonna look into it.
No.
There's gonna be that one guy that goes home, goes on the computer or something, and then looks up. Let's look up his dad. Let's see his history, his everything. And then you see what happened in that, like how many years ago. Leaks it on Snapchat. Then this happens. Blah blah blah. This guy's getting cooked.
No, listen. It's just one of those things, man. I think at the end of the day, he's got to deal with that. So he knows that anyway. So he's just got to pattern up when he gets there. Question: I know it's far fetched, but let's say Madrid wants to sell Tchouaméni, big up Savage, and he joins LFC. Who would your midfield three be?
It'd be illegal, our midfield, man. Gravenberch. You know what? That's a tough one. Maka.
Tchouaméni. Based on what I've seen right now, Tchouaméni McAllister.
Probably grab.
Yeah. Or swap Graven McAllister if you want. Yeah, maybe you'd swap. Yeah. I think you just taking out Sabozala, to be fair, if I had to really and truly pick. It would just be that.
If I'm taking out Sabo, I'm putting Harvey Elliott in.
So you're not starting Tchouaméni.
And I don't know. Can he even play at the tempo of the Premier League?
We don't know. Just hypotheticals.
I remember there's
Honestly,
rumors,
just
man.
asking hypotheticals.
I remember there's rumors. I was at a school. I was on a school trip. It was it was at the theatre, and then I remember seeing the rumors. Yeah, saying, "Oh, Tchouaméni's picked Real Madrid." I was so vexed in that theatre. I came out, and then my brother picked me up from school. I remember saying, we better get Mbappe now."
Oh yeah, let's just pivot to the next, biggest star.
Fuck it, bro. Tchouaméni ain't coming. Yeah, sure.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, because I knew that Real Madrid wanted Mbappe, so I was thinking, let's just upset them and just throw everything at the what's it called, at the kitchen sink and get Mbappe. And I remember saying, imagine our front three with Mbappe, that'll be illegal. Mane.
You was one of those ones who actually really thought that was a possibility.
Yeah. I was invested. Yeah. I was thinking it might be a possibility, because I remember his mom saying how we love Liverpool, we've been in talks to Liverpool. I was thinking, don't let me get back on that train, because I was a big Mbappe fan back then, but now not really. After seeing him being up front, that's not the Mbappe that I like to watch at all. I
just saw ENDZ's thumbnail. Why is the buzzer like? Why is it even? Anyways, we'll get to that when we fucking get to that. I'm just looking at it now, like what the fuck is this? But I hear. Don't worry, Harris. Don't worry. You was a part of the train. Fair enough. I get it. Last question, and then we will head on out of here. It is lunchtime. Question: Sane at Man City or Grealish, and Sami Khedira at Madrid or Fab at LFC? I'm assuming you're asking which one would I prefer out of all four? If so,
or how good they were at that, at the club.
Yeah.
Fab at LFC was mad. Khedira at Real Madrid, he was alright. He wasn't that good. Sane, cold. And Grealish, I don't know.
Khedira
the potential,
at Madrid
was
kind of good though.
The ceiling for Sane was crazy at City, because he was just killing teams. He was killing us. At one point,
what it mean? Them time we were smoking them up, man. So I didn't even, you know what I mean? If Khedira was doing good, no one cared, bro.
I'm trying to remember what year that was that Khedira was at Real Madrid. I just remember thinking, I want to sign Khedira. That's all I kept thinking was I want to sign Khedira. And I thought Arsenal were going to sign him at one point. That's 2010. Yeah, no, he had a solid, I reckon he had a solid 2 good years where I was like, nah, this Khedira, brother, is on point.
No, good.
But then, his last couple of seasons coincided
2010. with what did Barcelona win in 2010 again?
Let me check. The 2010 season. It's only really the first 3 seasons that he was at Madrid that he was good. But the rest he didn't play. I don't know what Barcelona won in that year. Barcelona won the league in 2010. 2010-11 season. They won it that season.
What do you mean? No, said no one cares. What does no one care about?
Savage, I care, which is why I asked. Diogo Jota has a minor foot injury. He had scans yesterday and the results were all clear this morning. Minor bruising. Bro just out here getting his pro club teams ready for future champs. All right, guys. ENDZ will touch upon all the injury news or anything like that this evening. So make sure you guys stay locked in. 7 p.m. he said. So we have got less than 6 hours, 5 hours and 58 minutes until ENDZ starts his stream. I'd like to thank both Jerry, ENDZ, and Harris for joining me this morning. Big up to both Tyler and Honesty for the super chats, guys.
Big up, lads, man.
Honestly, big up to your damn selves, man. Much appreciated, man. So big up yourselves. Max said he will be there. Guys, take care.
Yeah, man.
Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.